Okay, we are live. Hello, welcome to 2022 Money Medicine Space, a new season. Welcome. I'm so happy that you're here. I'm happy that you and I made it to this divine timing, to this new season of 2022. Yes. In as much as I'm excited, I would like to be honest with you. Festive season is not my type of vibe. Festive season is not my type of vibe. So what I chose to do, ending 2021, I decided to use my festive season to just rest, stay grounded, don't do anything hectic, sit with yourself, and just relax so that you enter 2022 with most of your energy, because most of the time when we're too hooked into many activities, we then enter the new year feeling very much exhausted and stuff. So for me, it was like a slow season, festive season, and now this is why I'm so excited and so energized to be beginning a new season with you. Hello, Joy. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much for being here. So I am so happy. I celebrate each and every one who has made it through, who is here witnessing a new season. I also celebrate that this new season gives us it's not even a new chance, but it is a new opportunity for you to continue to the journey. I don't believe in restarting every year. It's too exhausting. Like, I find it very exhausting to be restarting every year. But I see it as a continuation that allows me to be able to shift anything that I want to shift, or to be able to reflect and reassess and see where the hell I'm going, or question certain things. So I see it as a good opportunity for that, a pause to say, okay, where are we going? So that's just me. Let me know what the new year means to you and how you often feel about it. Are you like me? Do you sometimes just decide to chill, or do you get so hyped up and want to feel energized and stuff? Let me know. So I wanted to talk to you. I wanted us to talk about how you can make this year a financially fruitful year. How do we make it financially fruitful without exhausting ourselves, without overwhelming ourselves, without triggering emotions like anxiety, or that what if it doesn't work, that type of vibe? I say this because the honest truth is, I will attest to that. I have been triggered over the years, and even this year, although this year it was a little bit, because now I felt grounded. It's very triggering when something is so important to you, but at the same time, you're like, I don't have all the answers, or sometimes it feels like you don't know what you're doing. So it can be very triggering when you get to see things like, so what are your intentions for the year? What is your financial vision for 2022? What are your intentions? What are you going to be doing? What is your goal? What is your next goal? How much are you making in this first quarter, second quarter? Yes, it's beautiful, and I respect that it's always relevant at the level that you are. But sometimes also we are different, and what works for you or what works for someone else will not work for you. So I understand if it can be triggering and making you feel like I should have all the answers if I'm being asked to, what is my vision for the year? What do I intend to do with my money? Yada, 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 yada. And I hold space for women who also tend to experience certain triggers around that question, especially beginning the year. So if there's something that you're going through, you feel like, it's already stressful to be thinking about what I need to be doing, and you'd love to be processing this with someone, Yeah, that's me. That's me. That's that's what I love doing, and I'd be happy to hold space for you. So I actually updated my bio link to say that I'm open for for you to be booking a 2-hour session for us to come and process what has been happening, for us to come and shift things at the very beginning, and to also just talk about your financial reality and work on that. So let me know. Feel free to inbox me. Feel free to book a 2-hour session, and then I will take it from there. All right. Now, what do I want to talk about again? How we can be financially fruitful in the year 2022. How we can make it the year 2022 a financially fruitful year. Here's the thing. Here is the thing that often I feel like makes us feel like we didn't get it right, or maybe I should have done this, I should have done that, where end of year we're left with so many regrets. Instead of putting maybe numbers, and again, this is relevant depending on where you are, but I feel like everyone would benefit from this conversation. I want us to have a conversation where we're not talking about, I want to make this much this year, right? Of course, desires are amazing. Put it there, right? But we can still hold that number, but it doesn't have to be like the focus. For me, to relieve you of the anxiety and the overwhelm and the guilt that you may feel at the end of the day if you didn't achieve that number, or if you didn't get certain amount of clients, yada yada yada. What I really, really, really would love for you to do this year, beginning of this year, in order to make it a fruitful year, a financially fruitful year. And this is something I'm also applying to myself. What if you just decided that you are going to break away from one pattern that you see yourself doing? One pattern. You just decide, I am breaking away from this pattern this year. I am working on this pattern this year. And see how that feels for you. So yes, we have dreams to make certain amount of money. We have dreams to reach certain financial goals. But what is powerful and what I know will really shift your financial reality and will shift you from experiencing the same type of thing over and over again is if you looked deeply into a certain pattern that has been playing out, and I can bet it's been playing out for most of the years of your life, in your business, in your income. You just decide that this one pattern, I want to break it, right? So a pattern is basically what you repetitively do, or what you repeatedly do, or how you repetitively react, right, to a certain situation. The same response, the same reaction over and over again creates a pattern, right? It can also be seen in your habits, right? So if you right now know that you are the type of person, in the simplest example, if you know you are the type of person who often goes to a shop and you go in and you're like, I want to buy bread, and next thing you know, you have 10 other items, right? You have overspent the amount of money you wanted to be using, right? And you realize that, I have this habit where most of the time, this would be for you if you are someone who struggles with comprehending where your money has gone, or struggles with knowing where your money has gone, right? You might find that, I have this habit where I always go into a shop intending to do one thing, and then I come up with so many other things, and that often diverts me from directing my money where I want it to go. That's a pattern. And then you just decide, this year I am going to go to a shop twice a month or once a month. And also what I'm going to be working on is that I go in with a list of things that I want to do. Do not limit yourself. Whatever's in the list, get it. And then you go. That may look small, but it can shift your entire experience with your money. Because that means that where your money has been leaking, you can now start having extra to divert it to something else, and also to grow your income or to increase your income, right? So again, in order to make this year financially fruitful, I myself believe that instead of working with numbers, let's work with patterns. Challenge yourself to break a pattern. This is going to require you to make a decision. Indecision is one of the most... Indecision is such a lower frequency. Like it's the most daunting and most draining things when it comes to our finances. It's not that we're not capable of creating more. It's not that we're not capable of growing our businesses more. But indecision often makes us repeat the same thing over and over again. Someone can know that I have to just decide that I do not want to participate in this pattern anymore. And then because they have not decided, they will spend 3 years still complaining about the same thing over and over again. Is this not what we do as women? We complain about the same thing over and over again because what we're really complaining about is actually the pattern that we keep experiencing over and over again. So if they say, you just say, listen, I realize I tend to do 1, 2, 3. Look at how you have been experiencing money, the things that you've been complaining about or the things that have felt painful for you. And then decide that I'm going to work on breaking away from this one particular pattern. I'm going to work on breaking away from this particular pattern. It can also be debt. You realize that, so I have this thing with my money where, for example, if I have a lot of it, or if I have made a lump sum, I tend to borrow everyone my money. And the next thing I struggle with, fighting with people, wanting them to pay me. And then you just decide, this year, I'm going to center myself. What I'm going to work on is this pattern where I repeatedly keep giving away my money, or I keep borrowing people money when I haven't even thought it through. This year, I will sit with whatever decision I make regarding a loan, regarding giving away my money. Or it can be the other way around. Maybe you're the one who's been having a pattern of always borrowing money, always needing a loan, always funding whatever you need to be doing with debt. So this year, you can decide that, I recognize I do have this habit or this pattern where whenever I have a thought to do something, I always think, where can I get money? And it's always outside myself. I always think, where can I source the money? This is how then you end up creating more debt for yourself, right? So if this year you just decide, whatever I want to be doing, I will not fund it with debt. It means that I'll either save for it or I'll either create an extra income, because this is the year that I'm healing and breaking away from the pattern of debt. This feels less overwhelming. It can also be, this is the year I am healing the pattern of debt, just debt as a pattern, to say that I want to eliminate my debt. Listen, it doesn't matter how far you have gone, by end of year. But I know that decision, if you just make that decision, it will mean that this year you are going to be working on paying most of your debts. Because remember, now you have decided that you are going to eliminate the pattern of debt in your life, right? So we've talked about debt, we've talked about spending. Sometimes a pattern can be, I realize that whenever money comes into my account, I immediately go and spend that money, right? And then you decide that this is the year that when money comes into my account, I often say this to the women, allow money to spend at least 48 hours into your account, right? Where you can do that. Practice holding money. So if you know, I have this pattern where every time money comes into my account, I immediately start paying for stuff, because what you're doing there, you are creating so much anxiety even for yourself. You are creating a sense of agency, and now it means that your account, as an energy, already knows that I don't get to hold money. I tend to give it away, or money just leaves. It comes, it goes, it comes, it goes, it comes, it goes. That's a pattern. And I want you to imagine that if this was the one thing you were intentional about, and you decided that I am going to break away from this pattern, whom would you be by end of year? Right? Or, wow, you know what I need to do? I just need to get through this year without having a negative balance in my account. Think about it. Whom would you be by end of year? You just decide that I realize I have a pattern of leaving my account with almost zero or negative. This is the year I'm just not going to have that. The thing is, if you just decide, if you just allowed yourself to say, you know what, numbers can be overwhelming. And also there's this thing where sometimes if you decided that I'm going to make, for example, 100,000 in my savings or 50,000, year end when it comes and you haven't done that, it feels like I failed. I didn't do enough. It's painful for me. I can't. Or this is the year I'm going to be saving this much. It feels like, I didn't do much. I feel it's less overwhelming and powerful, beyond powerful, if you just decide that I'm going to look at the patterns that exist, I'm going to look at my habits, and I'm just going to work on one. Changing your financial experiences, changing your experiences with money is a journey. It's not something that you can quickly shift, because there are a lot of layers, there's a lot of pre-programming around that. Some of these patterns, some of these habits are things that you took 30 years to do. So to unlearn them is a process. So if we want to be fruitful, what if we just decided to see the truth, and the truth is, oh, okay, I'm overspending. The truth is, oh, I'm in debt. The truth is, I tend to give away most of my money. Oh, the truth is, I tend to create a sense of agency with my money. Whenever money hits my account, I always just make sure that immediately I take it out. Okay, so this is the truth. This is what I'm seeing. This is the reality. This is my financial reality, right? Okay, good. So what is the one thing right now I can do? Oh, I can break this pattern. I can work on it. This means that even by end of year, you are not the same person. I can tell you this. You have shifted something. Sometimes it can be more powerful than saying, oh, this is the year I'm going to make this amount of money. Because here's the thing. Increasing your income, increasing your financial goals, whilst you are still repeating the same pattern, can be unproductive, very redundant. Like, sometimes it's not the thing that makes sense. This is why at times what we experience is that I have increased the money, but I still don't see the significant change. I don't see the progress. I don't see the evidence of having increased this money. Why? Because the money is coming in, or the money is increasing. However, the patterns are not changing. And if they're not changing and I'm still applying the same ways, the same habits, then it's not shifting my experience with money. So what you want to work on, and what we really need to make a priority, is working on shifting the experience. Right? How does this feel for you? Tell me, does it feel lighter or does it feel overwhelming? Does this help with how you can actually be more productive, more efficient with your money? Numbers are great, but numbers, if they still find the same pattern and they still repeat the same programming, the same conditioning, it still sometimes won't feel like we're really making progress. And this is actually why a lot of Africans often have this stagnancy around money. The stagnancy is because it's not because our money is not increasing, or it's not because we're having higher financial goals, it's not because we're not creating more income. No, it's because even as we increase the money, the existing patterns still play out, and therefore the experience is still the same with our money. If right now you have an issue with overspending, and maybe this overspending is linked to the wounding around your need for validation, right? Just then as an example, if this is an issue you're experiencing and you're probably at an income of, let's say, 50K, right? It will still show up as overspending. It's a pattern. If a year later you have increased your income and it's at 150, do you think you are going to be able to feel the significance of this increase if the pattern of overspending is still there? No. Chances are it may just feel like this money did not increase. Why? It's the pattern that needs to break. Right? So, again, numbers are great. Financial goals are great. But as a way, the simplest way to help you not to get too attached or too overwhelmed, I want you to look and assess the patterns that you know. I know you know them. These are habits that, these are the same experiences that you've been experiencing. And then decide that I'm breaking away from just this one, and I'm going to work on this one. It's a good foundation for healing your money experience. And that's what we need to be doing. All right. Yeah. Let me know if that helps with not to be too overwhelmed or too attached to, I need to be like making this much amount of money this year and stuff like that. It's all good. But if you can break away from a certain pattern this year, definitely your financial reality will change. And again, I still invite you to, you can go a step further or go deeper. If you want to go deeper into seeing your patterns, I'm very good. Even if you didn't see something, I will help you see it and break away from it. So this takes work, like I said, because there are layers and layers of conditioning. And when you start working on your patterns and your experiences, you're basically working on multiple layers of, programming and conditioning that has existed. This is why it can be very intense, to be doing money medicine work. So I invite you to a 2-hour processing session if you need someone to be holding space for you, because also issues of money can be very triggering, especially if it's work that you've never attempted to do or you've never had someone hold space for you. It can be very triggering. Hence why a lot of us tend to collapse and just decide that, I'll keep doing the same thing over and over again. You doing the same thing over and over again is also a signal that it's probably uncomfortable to dig deeper and see truth. So that's why you need, a coach. That's why you need sometimes someone holding space for you. And that's what I'm here for. So do check out the link to book a 2-hour session. Start this year with, just the decision to say that I am going to be working on this pattern, and let's shift your financial experience, your financial reality. I hope that was helpful. I do wish each and everyone a very productive, a very fruitful financial year. Whatever that you have decided or whatever you desire, go soft on yourself. Know what you're working with, go soft on yourself and be gentle with yourself. No pressure. The worst thing you can do is apply pressure to think that, I should have this much by this month, I should do this. It can trigger a lot of anxiety. It can trigger a lot of financial stress. And once you have stress, or once you're stressed, it becomes difficult to even process the simplest things, to see the simplest things. And that's where you're most likely to make financial mistakes, right? So, let's start with the patterns. Let's break away just from one pattern. Identify it, work on it, heal it, and definitely by end of year, you would have shifted your experiences altogether. Yeah. Okay. Let me know your revelations as you're going to be watching later. If you're watching later, #replay. I'd love to know that you watched. If you picked something or if you enjoyed this conversation, do share into your stories so that someone else can know about the money medicine space, and also come hang out with me next Wednesday 5 p.m. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for being here. I love you all.